Okay, hey everyone, this is Sam the Frugal Hoogle Gardener. I'm out here first thing in the morning. As you know, I'm doing my trailer ramp build. I'm modifying it to be heavy duty, beefing it up so I can pull my lawnmower and my tractor in there for transport. I've been doing that, but the trailer ramp kind of warped about an inch and a half, inch and a half. So as you can tell by the video, I got tubing, I beefed it up really good. So because of that, I had a single spring assist that was made to lift that weight. But now the door weighs more than double because I used a thicker tubing and more of them, that I needed to get a dual spring assist right over here. So I need to install that this morning. I already removed the old one in the beginning of the project, and I ordered this. It's here, so now I need to install it, because lifting this up and down right now, if I have a mishap, I'm going to get hurt. So the difference between a single and a double, besides the amount of weight it could lift, is if a single spring snaps, and they do, just like a garage door, the gate will come down with force. If there was a dog, an animal, a child, or yourself under there, it can really hurt you, cut off your toes, or what have you. With a dual spring assist, it's safer, because if one spring snaps, you got the other one supporting the weight, and you shouldn't really get hurt because you can catch it and bring it down. So I'm excited to get this dual spring assist in. Now, I shopped all over locally and online. I got mine from eTrailer because they had it in stock and they shipped it really fast, free shipping. The manufacturer wanted more plus double for the shipping, like $250 to ship it. I'm like, you're crazy. A local place would have got me one in plus shipping, but it would have took up to 3 weeks. So eTrailer, they were a lifesaver because they had it in stock and they got it right to me. Unbelievable how hard it is, or how difficult it is to get one of these. So with that said, I need to go ahead and get this on. I have Rust-Oleum paint that I need to pick up later, and I have some sanding disc so I can strip off all the surface rust and the paint off of my metal, and then I'm going to go ahead and prime the framing and then put on the plywood and the sheet metal so it's protected on the inside. And I'm going to give it like double coating so it should be really protected. But before I go through all that, I want to paint the top over here from above, and then I want to lift this up and paint the bottom, which is the outside. And without the spring assist on, it's just really hard. I would have to lift, use ropes to hold it up, and it wouldn't just be right. So hopefully I get this spring assist on, and I'll have it nice and easy so I can get into position for painting. Plus it'll be able to dry, and then I could go ahead and put the plywood on. So let me get going. Okay, so here's the new spring assist. Here's the hardware and cabling. And it has the weight. See if I can turn this. You can see that one better. You can see it on there, says 185, M3-185 pounds. And this is what my ramp looks like. I actually made ramps like a tractor ramp, and then all the rest is a plus. The tractor could probably just go on that alone, like on a utility trailer or equipment trailer, but I built the whole thing. So this is super strong. Okay, so reading the instructions, it said while standing on the inside, looking out, the black is to your left and the red is to your right. So that's how I have it. So now I got to measure the end. Right here. And I have to cut it to my length. Okay, so what I did is I put this on a table. Here's my cutting saw. I put it straight. I put a little spacer here, a ladder with a spacer to hold it up. And I went ahead and made sure that it was straight into here. And I have my mark. Okay, with the saw, I went ahead and gave it a cut right here like this. So now it's the right length. I'm not going to touch that because it's hot. It's cooling off. Now, if you don't have a chop saw, you can use a sawzall. You can use a hacksaw. You can use whatever you have available to you. I decided to use the chop saw because that's how I cut all of my fabricated tubing, because I wanted each cut to be square. And if I cut this with a sawzall and a hacksaw, it'd be off a little bit. But if I didn't have it, I would use a hacksaw. But if you're building anything with tubing, you want to use a chop saw and get everything square, or you'll really be in trouble with the squareness of whatever you're building. Okay, so I want to put this side on, the red side, and I have a spacer. So when you cut this, it makes the ends flare up like that. So you have to sand that. Okay, that feels good all the way around. Now I'm going to put on the spacer. So right over here, you have bearings. The bearings go on the inside. You have a spacer to hold it out. And then you want to put these towards the inside. Like that. Just tighten them up a little bit, because you're going to have to adjust that later. That's just so the ends don't fall off. Okay, let's go in the trailer. Okay, so the brackets are now mounted. Okay, so I got that mounted, and I got that mounted, and then I came over here to take a look and notice that in shipping, this got bent and bent, and it even separated, so they got to replace that. And the same thing on this side. Right over here is bent. So anyway, there's the new one. And there's my old one. You can see a dual spring versus a single spring. So I have to install that temporarily to get the door going until I get the new ends on them. Okay, so I'm going to lift it up and do a dry run. Okay, it's up. So all I gotta do now is put the bearing inside, keep that sleeve over that, and move this in like that and attach it. So the screws go in here, this comes in, then the cable's gone. This is how I'm going to tighten it. And I got to do the same thing for that side. So since it's dark in here, let me get that done. I'm going to show you how to self-adjust the spring assist in your enclosed trailer. It can be a single or a double spring, doesn't matter. A few things you need to do first. Put a pair of vice grips in the middle so it don't go back and forth. On this end, make sure it's flush right there. And the factory gave me those spaces, but you see it really doesn't fit good, so I made that out of a PVC pipe. On both sides, you see this space? Okay, with a smaller one, this pipe right here is going to go this way and this way, but I made it where when this is in there, it's totally flat and aligned up from here to here. You see that? Lined up. From this edge to here, it's lined up with this spacer. With this spacer, it was moving this way and that way, and it wasn't a good thing. So what I'm going to do now with the door in the upright position, I put a rope on this and to the bracket. That way the door don't fall. This is a couple 100-pound door, and it would just swing down and you're not going to be able to grab it, and it'd be hard to lift back up. So I secured it here, and I secured it here, so the door is good. These I have free spinning. You see that? They're free spinning. I didn't tighten those. And I got this here for safety. So I'm going to go ahead and take the cables. And now I got the cable. And I'm going to go ahead and put the cable in and wind it up and then tighten this. Want to make sure I got the right wrench. That looks good. Okay, so I'm pulling it snug so there's no, see right here, you don't want this out. You want to pull it and get that slack out and keep winding it. Okay, so this is pushed in. You can see right here the slack's out. The door is closed, so I'm going to go ahead and tighten these up. Okay, that's tight. I gotta tighten this one. See, it moves a little bit because you got to go ahead and do this, the spring over here. Okay, I adjusted the vice grips. Now this is good. Okay, so now I'm going to do the same thing on this side. I'm going to take the cable, put the cable in, wrap it up nice and tight. Okay, that's nice and tight. So I'm going to have to tighten up the bolts over here. Okay, see, this is nice and snug now. Now the thing with that spacer is, this is a replacement. I already had one here, and the bracket was here. If you do in a newer stall, you can move the bracket over so the other one fits. But this is welded in at the factory, so I left it, and the bracket's right where the old one was. So I just, with a PVC pipe, made the spacer, so now it can't go back and forth, and it's nice and straight so the trailer could open without these springs rubbing. Okay, so normally you see people online, they open the door, they put the spring on, and they got to keep doing this and raise the door's heavy, a lot of strain. Well, with the door up, you go ahead and put these springs where you mark them, and you just give them 1, 1.5, or 2 turns, and then when the door opens, it's self-tension. So to do that, I got some blue tape, and I measured from the spring to here, from the spring to the tape is 35 inches. Okay, so from the spring out, I want 36 inches right there. Okay, so I have a piece of tape. I'm going to go ahead and measure 36 inches out from the spring bracket, and 36 is right there. I'm putting this piece of tape around just like that. And right over here, same thing. From this out is 36 right to there. Okay, so what you want to do here, see this is real loose. You just want to do 1.5 turns. Here's the top. So we're going to go okay, I'm just going to do 1 turn for right now, because I still have work to do. I'm just going to move this out and hold it with pressure. tighten the bolt like this. Okay. That has one turn and it's held. I'm going to do the back one. And this is holding it because of the tension. Okay, so now this spring just has one turn on it. Normally you would do two, but I'm going to be sanding and painting this today, and I don't want it too stiff because I want to put weight on it and hold it down. So I'm going to do the same thing with this one. It's loose. I'm just going to go okay, see, I still got the tension on it, so what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to push it to that tape. I'm going to hold it, and now I'm going to put the tension on. Okay, that one's done. Do this one. Okay, so it's to the blue tape, I'm trying to do the video and I forgot. So just make sure, and that's why you mark it. So you can bring it out 3 inches and 3 inches, and from right here to the bracket and right here to the bracket is equal spacing. So now you can see that your door will open and close pretty much perfectly. Let's see. Get it down nice. And it comes up nice. Okay, so I know the video is a little dark because it's dark in here and the sun's out there, but you can see this is how you auto wind it when it's closed rather than having it down, and you gotta keep doing this real hard to bring the door back up. So it works out nice and easy. Now, this pushed down fairly easy, but it was still coming up and not holding down because I have 2 sheets of 3/4 inch plywood that goes on here, and that's going to add 150 pounds just about, and that should hold it down. If it doesn't want to come up, you got to readjust this, put the vice grips there, adjust it. You always want to put vice grips here. Okay, so you always want to put vice grips here whenever you loosen this to adjust it, and you're going to go ahead and tighten it or loosen it and then bring the spring out to your mark. So it's always good to have tape on it even before you adjust it. Put a piece of tape and then adjust it because it's going to move and you want to bring it back. And that's going to give you a perfect enclosed trailer ramp spring assist setting. Now, of course, if you have diamond plate on here, it'll be less heavy than the 3/4 inch plywood, but you just got to adjust it. But this is a good starting point. So the way this is now, I could push this all the way down. I could put some cinder blocks on it, and I'm going to sand this on both sides all the way around, and then I'm going to go ahead and put Rust-Oleum paint on it. And then when it dries, I'm going to go ahead and put the plywood and the back sheeting on it. Now, the reason why I'm going through all this is I pulled my tractor and lawnmower in here. After a few years, I started getting a little bit of a warp. It's common with enclosed trailers if you put too much weight on the door. So, in a video below, you've seen how I straightened out like this the original ones with a chain and a jack. Check out that video. And then once I got them perfectly level, really nice. The video shows how nice I got it. Then I went and bought some 1/4 inch, or actually 1/8 inch by 1 inch by 1.5 inch, 1/8 of an inch thick. It's pretty thick. The thickness is pretty thick. And I also used 1 by 1.5 for the sides. This is 1 by 1.5 going vertical, and horizontal I got 3/4 by 1.5, because that's only supporting it going all the way across. So just this right here is like a regular trailer ramp, and then it's, of course, I attached it to the whole ramp. So I have double the verticals now, and then I have horizontal supports. Very heavy. I doubled up the weight. That's why I put a dual spring assist on it, and it's going to be very sturdy. The material that I used, 1/8, is actually thicker than the tubing that was on here from the factory. I found that out when I was welding. I didn't burn through any of the new stuff, but there was a few spots that the welder burnt through on theirs, and I looked how thick it was. So it's probably a 1/16 of an inch or something. So then I knew to put the weld on this side and push it over to the older side, and then the burn didn't happen anymore. But I got it all down. I got to go ahead and grind it and sand it, and then I'm going to prime it. So I hope you enjoyed this video on how to self-tighten a spring assist, and we can continue with the video I've been working on me welding this, fabricating it, cutting it, welding it, all the way to this point. Now I'm going to sand it and paint it and then put it back together. So I'm doing a few videos all at once. Hope you enjoyed.